A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant diplomatic shift, the UK government has officially barred Israeli officials from attending the upcoming Defence Security and Equipment International (DSEI) arms fair in London, scheduled for September 9th to 12th, 2025. This decision comes amid escalating tensions between the two allies over Israel's ongoing military operations in Gaza. The Ministry of Defense confirmed that no delegation from the Israeli government would be invited to the event, marking a notable stance in the UK's foreign policy towards Israel. The biennial arms fair is one of the largest of its kind in the world, and the absence of Israeli officials is seen as a direct response to the Israeli government's recent military actions, which have drawn widespread condemnation. In a statement, the British government expressed that Israel's decision to escalate its military operations in Gaza is wrong, emphasizing the need for a diplomatic solution to the ongoing conflict. The statement called for an immediate ceasefire, the return of hostages, and a surge in humanitarian aid to the beleaguered population of Gaza, which has been severely impacted by Israel's restrictions on the delivery of essential supplies. The UK's stance is further underscored by its recent suspension of certain arms export licenses to Israel, alongside freezing trade negotiations and imposing sanctions on two far-right Israeli ministers. The situation in Gaza has deteriorated significantly, with reports indicating that over 62,600 Palestinians, predominantly women and children, have lost their lives due to the conflict, and more than 157,600 have sustained injuries. The humanitarian crisis has reached alarming levels, prompting urgent calls for international intervention. The Israeli Defense Ministry has responded to the UK's decision by labeling it a deliberate and regrettable act of discrimination, asserting that the move undermines Israel's efforts to combat terrorism and protect its citizens. Despite the ban on government representatives, Israeli defense companies will still be allowed to participate in the arms fair, albeit without an official presence. The UK's decision aligns with growing European pressure on Israel regarding its military actions in Gaza. France, for instance, recently barred Israeli arms manufacturers from exhibiting offensive weapons at the Paris Air Show, citing violations of agreements with Israeli authorities. As the international community grapples with the implications of Israel's military strategy, discussions around imposing further sanctions are set to take place among European Union foreign ministers in Copenhagen this weekend, with Sweden and the Netherlands advocating for a tougher stance against Israel. The UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has indicated a willingness to recognize a Palestinian state if Israel does not take steps towards ending the conflict. His recent comments have highlighted the urgency for a resolution, as the situation in Gaza continues to escalate. The DSEI Arms Fair, which typically attracts high-profile delegations and private contractors, will now take place under the shadow of these diplomatic tensions. As the conflict continues, the international community watches closely, with calls for accountability and a push for peace growing louder. The UK government's actions may signal a pivotal moment in its foreign policy approach towards Israel, potentially reshaping alliances and international relations in the region. With the humanitarian crisis in Gaza worsening by the day, the need for a concerted effort towards peace has never been more pressing. The ongoing war has drawn scrutiny not only from the UK, but also from various global entities, including South Africa, which has taken its grievances to the International Court of Justice, alleging breaches of the 1948 Genocide Convention by Israel. The case highlights the severe implications of the conflict and raises fundamental questions about international law and human rights. As the DSEI Arms Fair approaches, the absence of Israeli officials will serve as a stark reminder of the complex and often contentious nature of international defense and diplomacy, particularly in a world grappling with the consequences of war and the urgent need for humanitarian intervention. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.